Derrick has passed out, and hopefully did everybody get one of the little clickers? We're going to, just to kind of get to know who's in here this morning, and then just kind of gauge your knowledge of, basic knowledge of the record keeping and record book system. We're going to ask you a few questions this morning, and so Derrick, in addition to being knowledgeable about record books and record keeping, is also the technology guru. So is there anything special you need to do with these clickers?
Not necessarily. I mean, if you can operate a phone, you can operate one of these little guys. A lot of the questions, or all the questions, I guess, are going to be multiple choice. Either 1, 2, 3, 4, or A, B, C, D, and so there's those numbers or whatever on the keypad. And so whenever one of the screens pops up that asks a question, then all you got to do is just select your answer, and you'll know that your vote was counted. If there's a little green light on the kind of the upper right-hand side, if that lights up green whenever you click the button, then you know that your vote got registered. So no biggie there, though.
And it won't let you, I mean, even if you push it twice, it'll only register your vote once, so don't panic about that.
Voted once and click it again.
Did we get kicked out for wrong answer?
And of course, we have no clue who's answering in whatever manner, so we won't even know where the answer came from.
Yeah, this is totally anonymous.
We want to embarrass you.
There are some questions on here that ask for your honest opinion about some stuff. So it is anonymous. I mean, I didn't write down the numbers of these things whenever I handed them out to you. I could have tried to go, who said that? But anyway, so it's something that your districts may or may not have on the side. So you may check with your county agents and see if they've got access to some of these little guys. To me, it just makes the presentations a little more interactive. Because you never know as a presenter if people are falling asleep on you, and this is one way to make sure that they're not. To get full audience participation.
All right, so to get started, here's your first question of the day. How long has your family been involved in the 4-H program? So out of the choices, 1, 2, 3, 4 that are up there, if you'll select that. 19 responses so far. All right, well, it looks like pretty much everybody has responded. So if you pull up, there's 26 with Joe and that comes in. Okay, so it looks like just a quick assessment of who's in the room. A largest number of you, 40%, have been involved in 4-H for 1 to 3 years, and then 4 to 6 years. So we've got some that are a little more tenured with 7+ years. But we were just trying to gauge, are y'all folks that have been doing this for 20 years or newer to the program? All right.
We've got 16% that are been here for 10 or more years. Where are y'all at? Excellent. Good. Glad to have y'all here. And y'all may have more words of wisdom about this particular topic than the rest of us. But you've probably seen it change a few times over the years, and it's probably something that needs to change periodically anyway. So, all right, next question.
All right, how many years has your family completed a record book?
Okay, I can screw that one really well. I'm not going to vote on this.
Talking consecutively.
And if it's 0, you don't have to vote. Sorry, I should have put that option up there.
What's that?
0.
I've
never done a record book. So we have 21 responses. Everybody that's going to vote voted? Okay. Okay, so.
Bunch of names.
Yes. Earlier in your 4-H record book experience. That's good to know. Again, we're trying to find out how to gauge if there's some basic stuff we need to cover, or if we need to skip over the basic stuff and keep rolling. All right, next question. What is your primary role in the 4-H program? Are you a club manager? Are you a project leader? Are you a just general volunteer as a parent, or are you just strictly a parent and don't really serve in a volunteer role within the 4-H program?
Those are all of the above.
It's primary.
Yeah, it's whatever you, yeah.
It's our property.
That's true.
Depends on where you live with what kid.
Depends on whether or not you want to be a parent today,
Exactly.
or if you want to be a parent to somebody else's child.
All right, let's see how you responded. Okay, so there's quite a few of you that are serving a club manager's role. So as we look at that, obviously serving as a club manager, even just as a volunteer in our program, you know, although we don't ask you to be an expert in every project area of 4-H, we certainly think record keeping and record books are an important part of the program that kind of overlay over the top of any project area. And so we would hope that as a volunteer, and especially as a club manager, you have some basic knowledge of our record book system so that you can provide some guidance to young people as they ask. So, all right, next question. All right, let's give us your honest opinion. If you've been exposed to the current record keeping or record book system, give us your honest thoughts. Again, we're not tracking your devices. As we get into probably the second hour of our presentation, you'll see why this question is really important to us. So, everybody voted that's going to vote. It looks like we've had 20 responses. Okay. Need some changes. Okay, that's kind of what we anticipated. We're curious to see if number 4 ranked the highest, but anyway, so what I can tell you, as being the 4-H faculty, Derrick and I, just as much as you think it needs changes, we think it needs changes too. And it's been an ongoing conversation for a couple of years now about the fact that it needs changes. And then we, we'll poll a small group to find out some ideas for changes and get, very mixed reviews. And then we'll poll a larger audience. And so we've been throwing this around for 2 years, and so Derrick and I are both at the point that we just need to make a decision and move forward. And not everyone's going to be happy with it, but we need to try to get it up to speed to make it more user-friendly for our families. All right, the next question. Why did you decide to attend this session? You want record book pointers? You wanted to see if there are going to be changes? No other sessions sound good, or you're not really didn't mean to be sitting in this room?
This is about record books? What?
Okay, so many of you wanted some record book pointers. And so as we go through this session, we're going to spend the first half of it on talking about record book pointers, on strengthening your child's record book or the 4-H members that you're assisting with some extra pointers. And certainly those of you that have done it, even if you've done it 1 year or been the 10 plus years of doing record books, please share your personal experiences. If you've seen something that you thought really worked or seen something that you thought really didn't work, feel free to speak up. I will say, I assist a lot of kids doing it, but I don't have children of my own yet doing record books. Derrick, as a father of 4-H members as well, has sees it from both sides, the 4-H faculty side as well as the dad side, and so he certainly has his opinions on what needs to change as well. So.
Yeah, I really feel your pain on the record books, and being when I was a county extension agent in Tyler, I still remember it was like a day, maybe 2 days before record books were due in my county. And I had a mama that her kids were probably 14, 15 years old, somewhere along in there. And I still remember the phone call very vividly. She called me up and she was talking about, how stressed she was, and then she started crying. And I said, Charles, it's not worth crying about. I said, record keeping and all that. And I said, don't do it for the sake of meeting the deadline. If we're going to do it, let's keep records for the sake of helping your kids. I said, don't worry about the deadline, put the deadline away. Let's figure out what you need to prepare your kids to do as far as keeping records so that they can go back and work on their scholarship applications later on down the road, which is really kind kind of one of the key things that we need to be tying together a little bit as we work with our young people. So, but yeah, don't let it get to the point where you're crying about it.
I don't know that my parents ever cried, but I think I got a few spankings over when I was in 4-H myself.